Leslie Marshall, syndicated radio host and Fox News contributor. Kevin McCullough, radio host with Salem Media. Both are our power panel today. Kevin, you heard the White House Press Secretary Sarah Sanders saying in kind of touche fashion, you know, was Bernie Sanders responsible when a man shot up the baseball game, the congressional baseball game? Is that fair?
It's a complete proper analogy because like Bernie Sanders would not be responsible for one of his followers doing that. She's irritated that people are trying to imply that President Trump's supporters are by necessity the ones that are doing this. And it's a complete parallel illustration.
Leslie, you know, I wonder if relitigating how we got here on both sides of the political aisle is something that we need to do right now so that we don't make the same mistakes going forward. So I want to ask about some of the things that have happened on your side of the political aisle and how you see them. Maxine Waters with a throwdown about attack those you don't agree with, and not mitigated by the fact that it would be a verbal attack. She didn't do that until much later. Eric Holder, former AG, the highest law office in the land under Barack Obama as president, said when they go low, kick them. And there have been these things, these incendiary remarks of recent days. What do you make of it coming from your party?
Well, I think it's disgusting coming from my party or any party. People saying, I want to stomp on your face with golf cleats because they're their political opponent. People body slamming journalists. But I think, quite frankly, the President of the United States is the President of the United States. Bernie Sanders is not. Maxine Waters is not. He needs to lead and lead by example. He is the leader of the free world. And I started to see that with the responses out of the White House tweeted, and then when he was talking about unity. And honestly,
you saw the rally last night.
Yes, and I started to think, to quote somebody from another network, Van Jones, who said, tonight he became our president. I sat there and I thought, oh my God, he's becoming presidential, becoming our president. He's not being juvenile. And then he started to attack the media. Then they're chanting, lock her up. And I thought, we are never going to be able to fully unite if the leader of our nation doesn't lead by example.
All right. I do want to make a point here. The lock her up chant that was going on before the president took stage last night. And then he gets up and he does do those things that bring us together. Why doesn't he get credit for that? And why don't the people who were shouting lock her up look to their neighbors and say, stop, this woman just had a bomb mailed in her direction today?
I just don't think that, to be candid, that either side of the political aisle has a heavy investment in bringing people together.
Ooh.
I think it is easier for the political powers that be, particularly what Trump would call the swamp, to keep us as divided as possible. So when he did make those very presidential statements yesterday, I thought this is exactly the tone that should be had. It was George W. Bush after 9/11. It was, you know, this is terrible. An American under attack is an American under attack. We're Americans first, politicos second. But that is not how the strategists, the people that are thinking about the next election, the people that really, particularly that are out of power, want to be back into power, it's not how they're ever going to process something like this. When you have someone who is an advisor to the president that says, never let the opportunity to exploit a tragedy go to waste, that tells you a little bit about what happens inside those strategic moments. And so I think that as much as we want to, it's going to have to be the American people that pull together. Stop looking at everyone around us expecting them to go first. We've got to be the first example.
So my point exactly, when you're in a public space, I think, you know, as good brothers and sisters, as neighbors, as we've been taught since we were little from our parents, hopefully, you know, why not look to your neighbor and say, look, I'm messing up too, but let's not be together standing here messing up. Let somebody do something right.
I want to say, and I hope you're okay with that I do this, Kevin and I share a best friend that we didn't know, you know, outside of here. And I got attacked on social media a couple of months ago, and Kevin wrote this incredibly beautiful defense of me as a woman, a talk show host, a mother, a friend. And Kevin and I don't agree at all politically.
I know, our viewers know that too.
And I think that is the way that, honestly, most Americans are. I have plenty of friends that are Republicans or that are Trump supporters. Sometimes we don't talk politics, and we do, but we're not ready to throw down over our differences. And I think as a nation, we do need to focus on similarities. But to your point with politics, I think it would actually help the president and Republicans had he been even more united in his speaking yesterday and continue to, because you have those people that are on the fence and hate both parties ready to vote in less than 2 weeks.
I am glad to see you both, and that was a very very illuminating personal story. And sometimes those are the ones that matter.
The secret's now out.
Yes.
Yes.